Okay. All right, it's recording. Okay, so here we go. So we've been looking at, let's focus now, sorry. Let's get this done because Miss hasn't got all day. So we've been looking at practicing our writing. So we'll do a quick activity today. Let's have a look at the sheet you've got in front of you. By now you should have your name on it. Underneath where it says topic, can you please write the djembe? D-J-E-M-B-E. So that is what... I've got a spare sheet, yep. Sorry, boy. You can do whatever makes life easier for you. I don't mind either way. Brooke? Anyone want fries with that?
Yes, please. Is that a regular or large?
Angelique?
Do
we have a jumbo?
Anything else? No? All right. Here we go. Focus. Focus. All right, so the djembe is what we're writing about. So this activity is very simple. I'm going to give you a small video on the djembe, the instrument. I'm going to play it. I reckon we should be able to do it just watching it twice because I know you guys should be able to do this quite well. If we need to watch it a third time, we can. The first time you watch it, you cannot write. You need to have your pens down and you're simply just watching. Then I will play the video a second time. The second time that I play it, you'll see on the side of your sheet you have an area that says notes or ideas. It didn't photocopy as well as I would have hoped. But you can see down the right hand side it has space for you to take notes. Dob, what sort of notes would you be thinking that you should take? What sort of things do you think you might need to write down? Important ones like?
Information about the instrument.
Information about the instrument. What type of origins? Materials, beautiful. Type of instrument? Sound, texture, so the concepts of music, yes, what it sounds like, beautiful. So any big idea, when it comes to notes, you're not going to talk while I'm talking. When it comes to notes, write down information that you think is important, and that'll be up for you to do. You'll have to take as many notes as you can the second time you watch it. When I play it the second time, I will also take down notes on the board. You don't need to copy my notes, they're my notes. We'll compare after the second watching what notes I have and what notes you have. And then I'll give you a set amount of time. I'm going to give you maybe 5 minutes, but we'll see how we go. 5 minutes to write as much information as you can, your own words about the djembe. Year 11 have done a really good job of this, and so have my Year 8 class. They've done different videos, of course. But it's just a way to practice your writing. Taking information from a source, whether it be video or I could have given you information on a piece of paper. Taking that information, organising notes, and then trying to put them into logical steps, paragraphs in your own words. Any questions about it so far? It's a very easy activity. So a lot of people I know find it very hard to find important information and then put it into their own words. Okay, any questions? Very simple. So all the pens need to be down. I'm going to play the video the first time. Your job is just to watch it, not to talk, just to watch. Take some mental notes. Try and think about the things that he said the first time, because when you even read something, it's good to read it maybe once, twice, 3 times to get as much information out. So the first playing, I'm going to just play it. Riley, would you mind shutting the top lights off? I'll probably turn the lights off because I've got the blinds open anyway. Okay, it's only a short video. It says 5 minute-ish. First time, no talking, just watching. He speaks really clearly too, the instructor. He speaks quite slow, so don't worry about having to get too much too quickly. Here you go, just watching, enjoying, and take as many mental notes as you can, no writing.
My name is Farai Malianga. I am actually an African percussionist that plays various instruments from Africa. But today I have 2 specific instruments that I want to introduce you to. But before we do that, let's talk about Africa. Africa is not really a country, it's a continent. And being a continent, it has over 50 different countries in it. And in those 50 different countries, it has many, many different cultures. So these drums really only represent at most 10% of the entire population of Africa in terms of the type of instruments that they play. Today I only have 2 instruments for you though. So, just to know, this instrument in front of you here and this instrument that I'm sitting on. First, let me just quickly introduce you to this instrument, which is called the cajon. The cajon is an instrument that's made out of a box and played a lot in Cuba and also played in Peru, but it actually originates in West Africa, and it's called a Siko drum, and played here with your hands. Okay, so the other drum that I'm going to talk to you a lot about is called the djembe. Now the djembe is spelled D-J-E-M-B-E. This drum is a drum that's played in West Africa. The history of the djembe comes from the Mali Empire, which was a huge empire somewhere between 800 and 1200 AD. That's about halfway between the birth of Christ and what is a drum that was played for the king of Mali. And it became a very popular drum because everywhere he went, whether it was in battle or was for celebration, he would use the djembe drum. Why would he use the djembe drum? Well, the djembe drum is a very loud drum. So this drum was used as a form of communication that would be used from mountaintop to mountaintop to tell people about the king was coming. In fact, there's a rhythm that actually talks about the king is coming. It goes like this. And the rhythm is called Ani Sokoma. It means the king is coming. So this drum was a communication device. What are the parts of the djembe drum? Well, the djembe drum is made out of 4 different parts. The top part is made out of goat skin. Then to hold the goat skin down are these metal rings, 1, 2, and 3. Connecting the metal rings is rope or string. And then the main part, most important part, of course, is the wood. Now, the wood is very important because it represents what a lot of Africans consider is the family tree, which connects the youth, the young people, which are the fruits and the leaves, to the family, which is the branches in the tree, to the ancestors, the people that have passed on, which is the bottom of the tree. So the roots of the tree is a very important part of the African culture and the djembe drum. So now you guys have all 4 different parts of the djembe drum: goat skin, rings, strings, and wood. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the 3 sounds that come out of the djembe drum. First sound is bass, which is in the middle. Second sound is the tone, which is on the side. And the highest sound is slap, which is done with your fingertips. Bass, tone, slap. Bass, tone, slap. So, as you can see, drums are very complicated.
Okay, Riley, would you mind switching the lights on for me? Okay, I'm going to play exactly the same video again. This time, was that a knock on the door as well? Open it. Yes. So I'm going to play exactly the same video again. This time you can write from start to finish down the right hand side, taking notes. The idea is to take notes, not write in narrative, not write in paragraphs yet. The idea is to take notes. As many important facts, what sort of things you should be looking for: people, places, names of things, techniques, parts of the instrument, anything you think is important. Let me ask you a quick question before we begin. You talked about the drum. Did anyone pick up the name of the other drum that he spoke about? Cajun. Are we writing about the cajun? No. So is the cajun important to what we're writing about right now? No. So you need to decide what information is important for you to take notes on and what information you can do without. No talking. And while you're doing it, I'm going to take notes as well. You write down what you think is important. I'll write down what I think is important. We'll compare a few notes and we'll see how you go with writing it. Exactly the same video. As soon as I press play, you can start taking down as many notes as you can. Here we go.
My name is Farai Malianga. I am actually an African percussionist that plays various instruments from Africa. But today I have 2 specific instruments that I want to introduce you to. But before we do that, let's talk about Africa. Africa is not really a country, it's a continent. And being a continent, it has over 50 different countries in it. And in those 50 different countries, it has many, many different cultures. So these drums really only represent at most
here.
10% of the entire population of Africa in terms
just
of the
figured
type
one
of
of you would
instruments that
come
they
down and
play.
make it.
Today I only have 2 instruments for you though. So just to know, this instrument in front of you here and the instrument that I'm sitting on.
Can you wait 5
First,
minutes?
let me just quickly introduce you to this instrument, which is called the cajon. The cajon is an instrument that's made out of a box and played a lot in Cuba and also played in Peru, but it actually originates in West Africa and it's called the Seco drum and played here with your hands. Okay, so the other drum that I'm going to talk to you a lot about is called the djembe. Now the djembe is spelled D-J-E-M-B-E. This drum is a drum that's played in West Africa. The history of the djembe comes from the Mali Empire, which was a huge empire somewhere between 800 and 1200 AD. That's about halfway between the birth of Christ and where we are today. The djembe was played for the king of Mali. And it became a very popular drum because everywhere he went, whether it was in a battle or was for celebration, he would use the djembe drum. Why would he use the djembe drum? Well, the djembe drum is a very loud drum. So this drum was used as a form of communication that would be used from mountaintop to mountaintop to tell people about the king was coming. In fact, there's a rhythm that actually talks about the king is coming. It goes like this. The rhythm is called Anis Sokoma. It means the king is coming. So this drum was a communication device. What is made out of 4 different parts. The top part is made out of goat skin. Then to hold the goat skin down are these metal rings, 1, 2, and 3. Connecting the metal rings is rope or string. And then the main part, and most important part, of course, is the wood. Now, the wood is very important because it represents what a lot of Africans consider is the family tree, which connects the youth, the young people, which are the fruits and the leaves, to the family, which is the branches in the tree, to the ancestors, the people that are passed on, which is the bottom of the tree. So the roots of the tree is a very important part of the African culture and the djembe drum. So now you guys have all 4 different parts of the djembe drum. Goat skin, rings, strings, and wood. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the 3 sounds that come out of the djembe drum. First sound is bass, which is in the middle. Second sound is the tone, which is on the side. And the highest sound is slap, which is done with your fingertips. Bass, tone, slap. Bass, tone, slap. So.
Okay, Riley, would you grab the lights again? Sorry, Matty. Okay. Last thing we need to do. Have a look at your notes. Have a quick look at some of my notes. Tyler, have a go at this. You can copy down some of mine if you missed a few. Do your best. Let's have a look. Who wrote percussionist down? Who got Africa or West Africa written down? Cool. Who wrote Mali Empire? Anyone get that? Cool. Played for the king? Used for communication, battle or celebration? Anything like that? Cool. Anyone write it was loud? Cool. Anyone rhythm that the king is coming? A few people got that. Remember, you might not think that's important. You might not want to write about that. Who wrote down the 4 parts of the djembe? And who was able to write down the 4 or 3 sounds? Did anyone notice that he went the 4 sound? He went the 3 sounds of the djembe, but he put 4 fingers up. Did anyone else know that? I noticed that. Okay, so you can see those are the notes that I made. You'll have your own notes. Let's do one more thing before you begin to write. How are we going to structure our piece of writing? What is our first going to be? Starts with I. Okay. We're going to put in introduction. What is your introduction supposed to do? It's going to tell me about... Okay, introduces the what? What is the... Okay, cool, we are awake. I know it's lunchtime next. Cool. So what information do you think is going to be important there? I don't want you to tell me right now. Intro needs to tell me what we are about to read, or what would I be about to read if I was reading or writing. What could your next paragraph possibly be about? What about the drum? You want to go straight to what it's made out of? The history of it, okay? So, who? Do you do this? The 3 W's? Do they still do that in English? Who, what, where, and when?
Who, what, when,
Where's it from? Who played it? What was it used for? When? You got information on those things on there. What could our third paragraph be about? Alicia, you're about to touch on it. What it's made out of. Excellent. And what could your last paragraph be about? Come on, what could your last paragraph be about? What's the last thing he discussed in the video? What did he do? The sound and how to perform. Yep. Okay, I reckon we've got enough information to write 4 small paragraphs. I reckon each paragraph would be 3 to 4 sentences at most. Your job now is to try and write as much as you can in the time that I give you, using your notes to construct a small piece of writing about the djembe. I'm going to give you, we'll start with 5 minutes, and if you need more time, I'll ask you to put up your hand if you'd like more time. Your job is to use the time to write as much as you can. So really you should be looking at trying not stopping. Writing as much as you can in the time. I'm going to start with 5 minutes. Any questions? You've got a scaffolder there, you have your notes. Go. Keep writing. Write as much as you can. Look at the notes, look at your notes, look at the scaffold that we just created together. Write as much as you can. Off you go. Finish a paragraph, jump to your second paragraph and come back to your first paragraph if you get stuck anywhere. Just practice keeping the pen moving and writing your thoughts down. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake, doesn't matter if the information is not perfect. Writing. Remember, if you get stuck on an idea, just move to your next idea. It doesn't need to be a completed piece of writing. We're just practicing getting as much information on as you can. If you think you've written enough about the dot point you're talking about, then move on to the next paragraph if you need to. Keep writing, but put up your hand if you would like some more time. I'm going to let the timer keep going. I'm going to give you as much time as you need. In the next 5 minutes, between the 5-minute and the 10-minute mark, if you find that you've finished writing, I want you to record the time that you use. So if you stop at the next minute, just write down that you use 6 minutes. If you want to continue writing, and I'll tell you all when to stop. But if you need to stop, record the time. The stopwatch is on the board. Did you write down your time? Yeah. As you begin to finish, if you've already put your pen down, everyone else keep writing, but if you have finished writing, now go through and count how many words you wrote, including the, is, a, every word. I don't want you to count brackets, but count the words in the bracket if you use brackets. Every single word that you wrote, and down the bottom it says word count. Write down how many words you wrote. If you have finished counting your words, if you finish writing, count how many paragraphs and also write that down the bottom, how many paragraphs you wrote. And then go through and underline or circle all the important dot points you had in your notes in your writing. Go through and look at what you had in your notes and circle where you've used them in your writing. 30 seconds, finish the sentence you're on, or the idea you're on. If it's an idea, you can do the whole idea. If it's a sentence, sure. Okay, finish the sentence you're on, and then go through and count how many words you wrote, how many paragraphs you wrote, and how many key terms you used. Yeah, make sure, we've got it all on the kit at the same time. Okay, so you're counting the amount of words you wrote, and all I want you to do is count how many words you wrote, including a, this, the, count how many paragraphs you were able to come up with, and then go through your notes very quickly and underline any of the key terms that you had in your notes in your writing. Do that for me, I'll give you 60 seconds, have a go. See how many, if you use the word percussionist in your writing, regardless of whether you use it correctly or not, underline it or circle it, because I'm going to collect your writing and have a look at it. I'll give you 60 seconds just to do that.
So you've got two young men outside to talk to you.
I'll just open the studio for the year 12, year 11 boys, and I'll be right back. You're counting your words. Quick, quick, quick. Okay, let's have a look. Who got a pretty good word count? Who thinks they did pretty well in terms of just word count? Ella, how many words? How many? Can anyone beat 197 words? 137. Anyone beat 137? Sean?
No, I got exactly 137.
137. Anyone else? 137. Who was able to make 2, 3, 4 paragraphs? How many paragraphs, Sean? 3 paragraphs. So we're seeing it. How much was it, Sean? 3 what? 300 and? 137. How many paragraphs, Sean? 3? 3? Anyone else able to do more than 3 paragraphs? Hayley? 4 paragraphs? And the last thing we looked at here. How many of the terms were you able to use? How many, Sean? Sean was able to use 13 of these terms that he had. Anyone else beat 13 terms? Brooke, how many did you use? 19. 20. So Sean got 13. Brooke, 19. And Zachy? 20. Pretty good. This is going to be what I want to do. Anyone care to read out maybe their first paragraph? Look at all the arms fold. Anyone care to give it? Riley, thank you. Nice and loud because you ate a noisy next door and I'm about to go in there and lose my temper.
Djembe is a percussion instrument used in Africa. The djembe is very loud and can communicate to other people. It was used in the Mali Empire from 800 to 1200 AD.
Nice. Anyone else got their first paragraph? Zachy, give me something. Just a little bit. You want to read just your first couple of lines at least?
The djembe is an African drum played by a percussionist.
Want to keep going because it's pretty good so far.
It originated from West Africa, from the Mali Empire,
And a little bit more.
somewhere around the 800 to 1200 Anno Domini.
Not a bad introductory paragraph. One last thing before we do some prac. Did this idea help you work out your answers by taking notes and then scaffolding? Did it help you with your writing? Do you feel it? Put up your hand if you think it helped you write more than you normally would. Nice. I'm going to collect your writing. You can now use the rest of the period to do some free prac. Let's go. Oh, of course you can.